I'd rather be a pocket than a tick. I'd rather be a pocket than a tick. I'd rather be a pocket, rather be a pocket, rather be a pocket than a tick.
Shut up, bitch!
Oh, Father, why are you so sad on this bright Easter morn?
Hello everyone, and welcome to Tommy's Celtic Talk. And what are we doing today? We're going to be talking about Celtic and Rangers. It's a day away, and it's been going on to last over 100 years, and each Old Firm game getting better than the last. And I don't see this one being any different. You chat about cup games, League Cup, Scottish Cup. Since 2010, there's been 2 Old Firm games. And we like to talk about the league, saying it's between the 2 heavy hitters, Celtic and Rangers. Well, it's only 2 times, you don't get it that often. You know, it's been 13 years, we get it twice. This one's coming tomorrow. And the last one, we maybe got it by a wee bit offside goal from Julian. But this one's going to be different, I'll tell you why. We're coming in on major form. Rangers are, you'd like to say they're on form themselves. It's tailor-made for a classic. Well, what are we doing today? We're putting, Michael Beale says Rangers are on, they're on the form of their life at the minute. Celtic, he says, we're on unbelievable form. So what would happen if we put Celtic's 11 and Rangers 11 in the same team? Goalkeeper for goalkeeper, right back for right back, centre mid for centre mid. McGregor versus Ryan Jack. Alan McGregor versus Joe Hart. Who's coming up on top? Find out in this video.
Oh, Father, why are you so sad on this bright Easter morn?
Starting off, we'll be starting off in goal with Alan McGregor and Joe Hart. Now, one's 500 years of age, has been around too long, and one's overrated. Now, Joe Hart, he has been, for lack of a better word, overhyped since he came in to Celtic. Now, this has come from a Celtic fan. For me, he's not Borg status, Fraser Foster status. He came in a desperate time when we had Barkas Bain, that whole thing. He came in and he could actually hold on to the ball, and he could save sort of easy shots that surprisingly was better than what we had already. They weren't capable of holding the ball. They weren't capable of saving a shot. So he was a step up from that, but I think we can do better. Now, on the other hand, we have Rangers. They have Alan McGregor, who is, realistically, what is he now, 40, 41? And his prime, was a few years back now. He did do well in the Europa League, on the way to the final. And he has been out of the team for John McLaughlin. I know he's sort of getting thrown back in again, but you know it, Rangers fans know it, Celtic fans know it. He's not a shadow of what he was before. John McLaughlin is even worth mentioning. I mean, after the last game, the last game he was in was the 4-0, I believe. And if he is in goal for this Old Firm game coming up tomorrow, I think it'll be that score, if not more. Alan McGregor's, he's still got a trick up the sleeve for Old Firm game, so he gets an odd for me in that. But that's in the Rangers team. We're talking about the Rangers Celtic mixed 11. And for me, Joe Hart takes the nod because he may be 35 now, but he's still he's still head and shoulders above Alan McGregor in his current form at the minute, so he gets a nod for me. Now, I don't want this video to be 300 hours, and I don't think you want that either, so we're going to do a quick fire round in defenders here. So right back, we've got Tavernier, Europa League finalists, El Capitano of Rangers, came in when they were shite, took the captain's band, and he's done a relatively good job since then. He scored 500 penalties, and he's been an overall, would you say, good leader of Rangers fans? You know, he's been, I'd say, an okay right back. Then you have Alistair Johnson and Ralston. Now, to be Alistair Johnson playing 100%. He was a replacement for Juranovic. He's played a few games. He's been, he hasn't been, I would say, better than Juranovic, but he's definitely on level par with him. And for me, that's why he gets in at right back, because he is level with Juranovic. And Juranovic, for me, was above Tavernier. Moving on to centre backs, we've got Cameron Crichton-Vickers, always gets a nod. We're not talking about any other player here. In the Rangers team or Celtic team, he gets in. He's the top centre back in the country at the minute. He gets in. Moving on, well, his competitor was Goldson there, by the way, but we won't talk about him. Next, we've got Starfelt and Davis. You'll probably be playing, wouldn't you? You'd probably be playing Davis. Davis, Celtic were linked with him, and I'm glad we didn't go in for him, because Starfelt, I showed you on one of the videos before that I uploaded that there was a stat, like something like 44 games him and Cameron have played together, 38 clean sheets. It was something like that, and they play well together. Starfelt gets a lot of stick. He's definitely not a better defender than Cameron Crichton-Vickers. He's a shadow of him, but he's not a shadow of Davis. And that's what we're looking at today. So if we had to pick a player, it has to be Starfelt. Starfelt, Cameron, he prefers to play with him, so he wouldn't want to play with Davis either. So he's in. So we've got, just to keep it up to date, we've got Joe Hart, Alistair Johnson, Starfelt, Cameron Crichton-Vickers. Moving on to left back, we've got Barisic and Greg Taylor. Rangers fans have been giving out like mad about Barisic. He's been a shadow of the title-winning Rangers Barisic. He's not a shadow of the player he used to be. A lot of the time, Rangers fans don't even want him in their starting 11. Now, I've heard that his form has been getting better the last few games, so I'll give him that. But Greg Taylor has been a sensation this whole season. He's been top pick for me. He's been right up there with Kieran Tierney in terms of his performance, in my opinion. So it's not a question for me. Greg Taylor at left back. Moving on to midfield of Glasgow's big two, we've got defensive mid, centre mid is how we're going to be doing it. Just them two above the defensive mid. And we've got Cal McGregor up against Lundstrom. Now, Cal McGregor, Lundstrom, you've got a big donkey in Lundstrom. He's got a long range shot on him. He did well in the Europa League. I think he's still a Sheffield United donkey. I think Cal McGregor is not just getting picked out of the two of them. He's going to captain this all-star Celtic Rangers team, because Cal McGregor, he's different gravy. He's different gravy, and I'll tell you why. Because his consistency, his passing, his energy, the focus he gives to the team is unkempt by any player, Celtic or Rangers, and that's why he captains our team today. Moving on to left-sided centre mid. We've got Hatate, we've got Tillmans. One's on loan, one's bought. Ange has the receipt in his back pocket of Hatate. Tielemans, you can all rave and dance about him like you have been on Rangers TV, Chris Boyd's been going on, and Rangers fans alike. You haven't bought him, and every time he does a wee trick, every time he scores a goal, his price tag just gets a bit higher. And I love to see it. Coming up next in the right centre mid position, we're getting through the squad right and quick now. We're nearly at the forwards. We've got Cantwell versus Aaron Armoy. And for me, Aaron Armoy has been, he started off very slow, but since he came back from the World Cup, he's been a main start, and you would have to be good to keep O'Reilly out of that team, and that's just what he's been. His passing, his calmness as well, because the team wants to get forward right and quick, don't they? And what he brings is just that calmness, gives that extra second just to pick out the right pass. He's got a good shot on him, and it's always good to have that wiser head, an older head in that midfield. That sort of, I think he'll do as well in Europe next year. I think he's definitely got maybe another year or two under his belt at the top level, definitely. And then you have Cantwell, who for 2 or 3 years ago they were talking about 20-30 million, wasn't it, to Chelsea? Well, they're not talking about 20 to 30 million to Chelsea anymore, are they? Because he's went to Rangers. So that is all you need to know about Cantwell. Cantwell, he's basically a poor man's O'Reilly, in my opinion. Does a few wee tricks, got a bit of passing to his game, and they say 20-30 million. It doesn't make sense for me. He may prove me wrong in the Old Firm game. I know he will start. He may prove me wrong, but 2-3 years no form. We used to sign players like that, and then we cut our fucking selves on and started buying in some proper players. But it'll be found out tomorrow when ultimately he's in the pocket of every Celtic. Moving on to the big, bad front three of the Old Firm. We've got Jota versus Sakala, Morelos versus Kyogo, and Kent versus Maeda. And we'll do an Ange versus Bale as well. It's only fitting. And if we were mistaken there, I think in my last segment I didn't pick who the winner was between Moy and Tielemans. I think it was fairly obvious. It was Aaron Moy. We'll start off with right wing, where we've got Jota versus Sakala. And Sakala, he loves an Old Firm goal, doesn't he? He's a bit like a Kenny Miller of like modern era, I would say. Sakala, regardless of their form, he always seems to play well in an Old Firm game. Jota, he's been off form of late, in my opinion. When he first came into Celtic, it was explosive from him. Now, he's still doing the tricks, but his assists and goals are a lot more calm than what they were at the very start. Still a top player, still above Abada, in my opinion, but definitely slowed down. And Sakala has been in the form of his life at the minute for Rangers, so there's only one clear winner for me on the right wing area, and that's Jota.
1, 2, 3, go!
Moving on to striker, we've got Morelos, the big meathead, and we've got Kyogo. Now, you would think it's a simple choice, but if you listen to the Rangers fans, all of a sudden you've got a world-class act, a player comparable to Henrik Larsson is Morelos, a player that are getting 50-60 million bids from Chinese teams, Japanese teams, different planet teams, whatever you like. But in reality, you've got a 17, 18 stone, useless, good for nothing. And then you have Kyogo, who was Ange's first Japanese signing, I believe. And by God, he's good, isn't he? If it's not hat tricks, it's doubles, it's assists. He's near guaranteed a goal or some sort of goal contribution during the game. For the money we got for a bargain. So it won't probably the easiest decision in the whole squad here. Kyogo starts, and last but not least, we've got Dyson Maeda and Ryan Kent at left wing. Now, Rangers fans will be screaming for Ryan Kent to get this slot because he's their prime Cristiano Ronaldo. He dribbles past players, he comes back, he dribbles past them again. He gets 0 assists, he gets 0 goals 9 times out of 10, but he does a wee trick or two. And by God, he throws himself every 2 minutes. So they love it, especially with the referees in Scotland. But with Dyson Maeda, you've got a proper winner. You've got a boy that is like lightning. Ever since he's got back from that World Cup, Celtic fans didn't always like him. You see, on Twitter, when Abada wasn't playing, they were giving out, they were saying, why is he playing? He should be a bench player. Bring him off the bench. Ever since this World Cup, he's proved everybody wrong. Him and Moy have been revelations since they've got back from the World Cup. He can score goals, he can assist now. So for me, it'll be Maeda in at left wing. So that would be the squad complete now. So if we take a run back, we've got Joe Hart in goal, Alistair Johnson at right back, Cameron Colton-Vickers at centre back alongside Starfelt. Then we go on the left back where we have Greg Taylor, CDM, Callum McGregor, left centre mid, Hatate, right centre mid, Aaron Moy, right winger, Jota, striker, Kyogo, and left wing, Maeda. And that is my mixed all-star team between Celtic and Rangers starting 11.
Fuck's us. Where the fuck's Kent? Where's McGregor? Where's Tav? You just put out Celtic players, you fucking scumbag.
Oh well, fuck guys. Please remember to like and subscribe, and hopefully we're witnessing before our very eyes a Celtic demolition job of hopefully 5 or 6 against these Hun bastards. And I've just remembered I had to pick between Michael Beale and Ange Postecoglou to manage this All-Star 11. Well, how about I leave that to use? Comment in who manages the team.
What does tomorrow night mean to you? Joe, in 16 hours time, this man is going to learn that if you disrespect a person's kindness and take it as a weakness, you must pay. Tomorrow night I'm going to make this man pay with his life, and I mean it. You're dead in that octagon tomorrow night.